basically ruled as a monarch, as a monarchy, you gave him free reign. Why would you do that? Why would you trust him with that?
Yeah, they didn't stand up. We gave them the House, we gave them the Senate, and they've done nothing. They haven't even stood up to Obama. No. And the guy that I think did worse in the debate last night because he began to show his true colors was Kasich. Kasich has shown a whole bunch of Democratic tendencies throughout this election. He really outed himself last night and today, and let's make sure we let people know because come Tuesday, there's an election, a primary election in Ohio. John Kasich must not win that election because I wanted to remind everybody, there was an article on Breitbart of all places today and Pat Caddell, the old I think he worked for Jimmy Carter as a strategist, Democratic strategist. He said, you know what, in 1993, Kasich was in the House as a congressman, and I'm betting he said that he voted for NAFTA. Well, I immediately went and looked up the government records, and sure enough, John Kasich voted for NAFTA in 1993.
Yep.
The records are there. We've already put the links on Twitter. Look it up on your on your Twitter account. Look it on my Twitter account. Look it on a bunch of Twitter accounts. It's there. John Kasich voted for NAFTA through American and Ohioans' jobs right to Mexico. And people need to know that because he is one of those insiders. He's a guy that will do nothing for us, the working class of America.
Yeah, according to Breitbart as well, in 2014, Kasich, home state of Ohio, lost 112,000 jobs due to the nation's trade deficit, and all stemming from these trade agreements with other countries. So they can stand up there all they want, all they want. I've always said this. They've all been implicit in everything that's been going terribly for the American people. They've had a hand in it. So please.
Yeah. This is why I'm so glad I met you, and I've met so many good people on Twitter, and not Facebook as much too, but Twitter I think is really the medium, and it bothers me that some of us are getting thrown off, like Christina Layla got thrown off, and
she's back
some
on.
other people have been thrown off. She is back on now, yes, thank goodness. But, it is so important this election cycle for people to get onto the social media, the Twitter, the Facebook, the Google Plus, whatever, because you know what? You can campaign from your home and you don't even need a phone. As long as you've got a computer, you can get out there and you can investigate. There's nothing more damning to a bad politician than somebody finding that little article and that little record, that one-page record that says he voted for NAFTA.
It always comes back, and I think Donald Trump should run with this, with the fact that he did vote for NAFTA, which it was a terrible deal for the U.S. As always, we get the short end of the stick, like I mentioned before. So quickly here, what do you think about the Dr. Carson endorsement? Do you think that ultimately is going to propel Donald Trump on Tuesday, which is a big, it's a Super Tuesday to me because you got a lot of winner take all states. You have Florida, which is 99 delegates. It's a winner take all. You have Illinois, which is 69 delegates, which is a proportional state. You have Missouri, which is 52 delegates, and it's a winner take all. You have North Carolina, which is 72, which is proportional, and you have the Northern Islands of Caracas. I didn't know they would. But anyway, you also have Ohio. Yeah. You also have Ohio, which is huge. It's 159 delegates, and it's 66, and it's winner take all.
Yeah, my original thought yesterday, early in the morning, was it yesterday or the day before when they talked about Ben Carson was going to make his endorsement. I thought it was going to Cruz, and I was like, oh, and I think I even tweeted with somebody, what a mistake that's going to be, Right. And so I was really surprised when they said, it's Donald Trump. He's going to endorse Donald Trump. And listening, so here's my thought. I guess I'm going to extrapolate a little bit and say, listening to what Donald said last night, talking to Ben Carson about education, is there a Secretary of Education in the works for Ben Carson?
Right.
Or is Ben Carson the guy to wind down the Department of Education or make it smaller and send it back to the states? I don't know. I would assume Ben Carson has got some really good ideas on education, having been very well educated himself and coming from Detroit schools, which weren't good when he was a child, and they're even worse today. I'm sure Ben Carson's got a lot of good ideas about education, but I'm glad to see him on board. I'm sure he's going to be in the cabinet for Donald Trump, and I'm sure Chris Christie will as well. You know, but these are good people, and I think Donald Trump as a manager, because that's what he is. He's a manager. Well, he's going to surround himself with good people.
Well, you know, Ronald Reagan was he was called the great delegator because he was able to delegate. Yes, it got him in trouble in his second term because he was such a delegator. You got the, you know, Iran-Contra deal where he didn't know what was going on. And, you know, whether you believe him or not, whether his surrogates did it, you know, without him knowing, I mean, you can go make up your own mind, but he was a great delegator and he was ultimately a good president, you know, a great president, which, you know, Nancy Reagan was buried today. So my heart goes out to the family. Good.
Absolutely. Nancy was a great woman. And, you know, a lot of people will still laugh about the just say no, but you know what? That will live in American culture, you know, for decades and decades.
Well, hopefully with these, you know, you never know with what they're teaching our kids in school nowadays. They really teach history. So who knows? You know, they're trying to rewrite history in our schools right now, which is why another reason why you can't support cases. You know, this is a guy who supports Common Core. So, you know, it's another reason why you shouldn't vote for him. I mean, this guy's been, I mean, if you look at everything, I mean, he's anti, you know, he's anti, what was that he was against in, what was he against? Let me see if I can find it here. He was, right to work, you know, cause a lot of, you know, the right to work, he was against right to work, which basically if you were, you know, a police officer or a cop or, you know, you weren't forced to join the union if you didn't want to. So that's what right to work is. And, he was against that. And, you know, he's for Common Core too. I mean, this is who he is. He's for the expansion of Medicaid as well. You know, you just got to research it yourself. Like I said, do your own homework. It's out there. I mean, the truth is out there. If you want to find it yourself,
truth is out there.
The truth is out there. Before I let you go, let's also talk about, you know, you had Phyllis Schlafly, who was actually introduced Donald Trump today at his rally in St. Louis, and basically told the crowd that Trump he will appoint, you know, conservative Supreme Court justices, just like Justice Scalia, and basically she's been supporting him for a while now. I don't know if she officially endorsed him, but the fact that she's been very outspoken about him says a lot.
Yeah, I think she did today do the official endorsement. I don't quote me on it, but I thought I saw an article that stated that. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But she certainly has been super supportive of Donald Trump. And I just want to say to people, you know, if they're listening, get out there and repost this stuff on Twitter and Facebook about John Kasich, because you know what? He is not worthy of your vote. He just is not. If you want more of the same, vote John Kasich. If you want this country to get better, vote for Donald Trump. And I'll tell people say, I don't like Donald Trump, whatever. I'm going to say this once, and I want people to remember it. You have a 100% chance of nothing changing if you vote for any other candidate.
You're right.
With Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, you have at least a 50% chance of something going good.
Yep.
50% is better than 100% at this point. You know what I mean? I'll roll the dice with Donald. I believe him. I trust him. And worst case scenario, it's a 50-50 chance that he's not who he says he is. I believe he is. I believe the man is. Who else would put himself through this and subject him? He doesn't need to do any of this. Mm-hmm. He's a wealthy man. He doesn't need to be in the White House. He doesn't need to go through this nonsense.
Exactly.
He's got nothing to gain from this other than having a better economy for the United States, which will help his companies.
I mean, here you have a guy who's walking around with a bulletproof vest. I mean, so he doesn't need this, and he's going to be quite a target the more he, advances in this election cycle. And I want to thank you for being on my show, Gary. It's always a pleasure. Gary, please give everybody your information out there.
You got it. Thanks so much, dude. You're the one that does all the work. You're a great man. I appreciate it all the time.
No, give everybody your Twitter account and your website.
Oh. Yep. Hey, at Gary Daily Drift. You can reach me there, or you can reach me at GaryWellings.com, TheDailyDrift.com, CurrentOnline.com too.
Awesome. Well, you've been listening to The Silent Majority here on New Media Patriot Radio. I've been your host, Chris, and yes, I am the Patriot 143. Please listen to me. If you can't listen to me, download the Spreaker app or just download the shows. You can listen to it at your convenience. Just, go to Spreaker.com, look for New Media Patriot Radio, and listen to it on demand. Also, follow me there. I want to get featured on iHeartRadio and need some followers. So again, thank you for listening to New Media Patriot Radio. I've been your host, and Chris. And if you want to visit my website, newmediapatriotradio.com. And I'm sorry I sound tired, because I am. Anyway, in the words of Ronald Reagan, it's time for choosing. So long, everybody.